what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply...
Yo, what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Today is video number 3, you know? And before we go any further, I just want to say thank you to those of you who viewed the first 2 videos, you know what I'm saying? And thank you for the subscribers. And go ahead and smash that like, subscribe, and notification bell right now. And you can be notified every time I put up a new video. Alright? So yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into it, man. So today, this video is gonna be about fights over spades, you know what I'm saying, which freaking happens a lot in there, because like one of the only things they allow you to do during rec is play cards, you know. You got checkers and chess, you know what I'm saying, but like mostly is a lot of cards, you know, whether it's poker. Guys, like a lot of guys play you know, dealer's choice, so it can be like 5-card draw, Texas Hold'em, Tahoe, all these different games, you know what I'm saying. And then you got like Pinochle, which is a card game, then you got Uno, which is a card game, and then you got spades, and then you got hearts, and casino was another good one. I used to bet orange juices. I had these little packs of orange. They used to give us these little orange juices in the morning. And I used to gamble them on this game casino with this old head, right? And every time he threw a card out, the old head, every time he would throw a card down on the table, he'd go wham. That's how he'd get in your head, like messing with you and shit like that, like wham, 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 like that every single time. But let me tell you, that old head was a beast on the casino table, man. He was a beast on the casino table, yo. There was a point in time I was down, like, I swear, freaking 1,000, dude. I owed him my orange juice packet containers for like, shit, I swear, over a year. I owed him to him for over a year, yo, for real. And yeah, but then I ended up giving him some other stuff to get the debt down, you know what I mean? And we wiped it clear and stuff. He ended up cutting me slack on a lot of them, you know what I mean? But yeah, so spades, you know what I mean? Spades. So a lot of times, you know, people play differently. So like, I've even seen guys get into fights with their own partner, you know what I mean? Because spades is a partner game, you know what I mean? It's 4 people, you know, and the guy across from you is your partner. So it's you and the guy across is a partner, and then to your left and to your right, them guys, there's a partner, you know what I mean? And then it goes go around in a circle. Everyone, you just deal out the cards until there ain't none left. So at the end, everyone will have 13 cards. You know what I'm saying? And then like you play, and then you count the books and stuff like that. Different cards have different power, you know? And but anyway, yeah, it's like sometimes people be getting mad and stuff when they lose, or like partners when they mess up and stuff like that. So like people will bang out, you know what I mean? Like for real, like there was a time when I was actually in NCSTU, you know what I'm saying? The place that I was talking about yesterday, I think. And there was 2 guys playing, and they were partners, you know what I mean? And they kept talking smack to each other every time, like as they were playing, you know? And it was starting to get heated and escalated, because what happened was, dude was playing, and he had a style to where he was like really aggressive, you know. He was real aggressive, and he tried to take everything, you know. And then his partner was the type of person that like kind of be giving stuff away and like playing what they call bags or sandbags or overbooks is what they call them, you know, because like you have to bid the amount that you're gonna go each hand. So like, let's say I bid 5, you know, and then I can get 5 and try to give you guys the rest. Or, you know, I'll bear it. Or like if you guys bid 4, I'll give away books that I would normally try to take. I'll give them away, and then you guys get 8, and that's called an overset, which is a game. It's an automatic game. If you get overset, and anytime you get double what you bid, if you get bid something, then you get double. That's automatic game. But anyway, yeah. So that's how they had 2 different styles of playing, right? And They were from two different organizations, you know what I'm saying? They both gangbanged, and they were both from two different organizations. Actually, no, I think it was the same. They were from the same organization, but like two different sets or something like that. You know what I mean? And so they get to arguing, right? So they get to arguing like, no, F you punk ass bitch ass dude. You know what I mean? What, nigga? Da 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 da. And so they ended up standing up, and they're like, dude shoved the table at him, right? So there was a bigger dude and like a dude they were kind of the same size, but one dude was a little bit taller and like stockier, right? So he was like kind of a stocky boy, like more wrestling, trying to grab you. So that dude, the stocky guy, takes the table and shoves it straight at the other bull, right? And as he's pushing it to him, he's standing up and jumping over the table at him at the same time, like giving him a bear hug, right? So when he does that, like he jumps over the table and bear hugs him, okay? But dude that he's trying to bear hug kind of like sidesteps a little bit and catches him. Bink, bink, 2 uppercuts. But somehow he grabbed him too at the same time. So he caught him with 2 punches, 2 little like punches. And when he did that, he freaking knocked his tooth out. And so homeboy got his tooth knocked out, right? So then boom, he got his tooth knocked out. And then he grabbed him. And then like they was like kind of tussling, because like his feet was kind of still on the table after he binked him, bink bink, and then he like got a hold of him around his waist area, and he was like still on. So he like backed up and pulled off the table, and they were like kind of wrestling after that. And staff members came to break it up, and then freaking the dude that actually started the fight, he had some type of condition. So that dude actually, the bull started actually having a seizure. So the guy that started the fight, he jumped across the table and tried to sucker bull, right? But instead of binking him or stealing off on him, he tried to grab him. You know what I mean? Big dummy came in head first trying to grab him. And when he did that, homie had some hands. You know what I mean? Homeboy had some hands. He was from Reading. He was from Reading, Pennsylvania. I forget his name, but he was a black dude, and yeah, I forget his name, but yeah, he caught him, bing, bing, 2 uppercuts, and dude was like, bing, bing, and then it ended up knocking his tooth out, and then he grabbed him and he pulled him off the table. They started tussling and stuff like that, going back and forth for a little bit, and then staff members came to break it up, and then when the staff came and started gripping him up, I guess dude's blood pressure went through the roof, and he started shaking. He started shaking and stuff, and so they put him on his side so he didn't swallow his tongue, and then after that, they were like, everybody back to your room, everybody back to your room now. You know what I mean? They just started yelling at us, and then like that rec time was over then, you know what I mean? Because we were out at rec at the time, because like every night at the end of the night after because like we do like all of our school and shit during the day, and then we have like a group and shit like that, and then watch the news for 1 hour or a half hour, I think it was 1 hour, and then after that we go to dinner, come back from dinner, get showers and stuff like that, put on PJs, and then we go have like rec time for a little while. And then there's different levels, like bronze level, silver level, gold level, different levels stay out later. So we were out on that rec, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, he binked him, bang, bang, knocked his tooth out. Dude that started it and tried to sucker him, because he tried to sucker him. You know what I mean? That's why he pushed the table at him. He was hoping that homeboy was going to get caught in the chair and fall back. But that's not what happened. Homeboy was like on point. So as he did it, he's like kind of standing up too. And then as he jumping over, he caught him, bing, bing, knocked his tooth out. Then, you know, basically sent him into a seizure. You know what I mean? And it was funny because like months after that, you know what I mean? We was all outside at rec and shit like that. And they was arguing about it. And he was like, yeah, that's why I knocked your tooth out and you had a seizure. He was like, oh, you did that? You did that? He was like, yeah, I did that. Like, like, yeah, fool. Like, yeah, come on, dog. I binked you and put you into a seizure. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have died probably, you know. I don't know exactly how that works, but I know people can die from having seizures. You know what I mean? That shit was crazy, though. I was like, dang. Yup, and like that was when I was like fresh in that joint. You know what I mean? I was kind of still fresh and new, and I seen this pop off. So there was blood on the floor. I was like, damn, all right, so it's kind of cracking here. You know what I mean? That shit was crazy. And then, yeah, man. Then another time, You know what I'm saying? I actually got into a fight over spades. You know what I mean? Again, spades, right? So this was actually years later after that, I think, when the one I'm thinking of, because it was a funny one. You know what I mean? That's why I'm bringing this. What made me think of this one, I was thinking about it earlier. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to think of all the fights I got in, but specifically over spades, you know what I mean? Or fights that I've seen specifically over spades, you know what I mean? And then I'll come over and do another video, like, cause I seen fights over handball. I got in a fight over clippers one time, the hair clippers. You know what I mean? I lumped this dude up all crazy over the hair clippers, you know what I mean? And cause he called me a white boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was one thing that would always make me mad, you know what I'm saying? Because like, even me, I'm in a Latin organization, you know what I mean? An organization and a nation that is predominantly Hispanic, you know what I mean? And I'm white. Yeah, so that was one thing, like, I never liked when growing up and being locked up and stuff, people calling me white boy, or, you know what I mean? Or blanquito, which is another term, a Spanish term for white boy, blanquito. I'm like, blanquito what? Yo, my name ain't white boy, dog. My name's Stacks, you know what I'm saying? Don't call me white boy, you know? How would you like it if I call you Puerto Rican boy? Or how would you like it if I call you Cuban boy? Or Mexican boy? Or black boy? You feel me? Like, don't fucking call me white boy, dog. You know what I'm saying? Call me Stacks. You know? Call me by my name. Or call me, you know? I never like to play that, you know what I'm saying? Because I never was the type to be, like, racist or nothing. But, like, you know, because I felt like I had to go a little bit harder because I'm in a predominantly Hispanic nation, you know, so I had to go the extra mile, you know, because I'm the white boy, so they're gonna test me more. There's another time that, so the other time I'm talking about when I got into a fight and actually over spades, and it was actually I got into a fight and it was my first knockout. My first knockout when I was locked up. You know what I'm saying? I was 18, you know what I'm saying? And I was fresh in this joint. Cause I just got shipped because I turned 18, you know what I mean? So they shipped me to a different spot, and I was in Pine Grove, you know what I mean? And I forget the pod 3. I was on 3-1, which is 3rd floor, pod 1, you know what I mean? And I'm in there, I'm 18, you know what I'm saying, skinny, you know what I mean, but that's the thing, like, I was always smaller, so I went really hard, you know what I mean, I always went super hard because I was smaller, so I felt like I had to go harder for people to won't test me, you see what I'm saying, and, yeah, so I'm fresh in this joint, you know, and I'm playing spades, and it's me and this, a white dude, and another white dude right here to the right of me. His name was I forget. Knox. His name was Knox. You know what I'm saying? That's the dude I got in a fight with. Knox got knocked the hell out. Playing spades and stuff, and we're not. The thing of it is, we ain't even gambling. We're just playing for fun. You know what I mean? I'm fresh in this joint. These dudes was just like, yo, you trying to play some spades? You know what I mean? I didn't even really know him like that. You know what I mean? Because I was only there probably at this point maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most. You know, and I was like I said, I was 18, you know, and I didn't know no one. I was spades and stuff like that. So I'm shuffling, right? I'm shuffling, and then after I'm done shuffling, every time after you're done shuffling, you put the deck to your right, and then the person to your right will cut the deck. You know what I'm saying? And slide the deck back to you, or they like some people will knock on it or whatever, and they be like, you know, that means they don't even want to cut it. So then after that, you pick the card. I picked the cards back up, and I went to go deal them. And then when I did that, dude to the right of me, Knox, the boy Knox, steps up into my face, you know, like real close like this. He's like, yo, boy, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, what is you talking about, dog? He's like, yo, I just seen what you just did, man. Put it back now. Put it back. I'm like, put it back? What are you talking about? He's like, you just switched the bottom card. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? So he was like, I thought he was joking at first, because come to find out, he was accusing me of trying to switch the bottom card. I guess he seen the bottom card. The bottom card turned out to be an ace, and he thought I switched it. I dealt it out or something, like, you know, he was accusing me of switching the card. He was accusing me of cheating, you know what I'm saying, which I don't cheat, you know. First of all, I don't even cheat, you know what I mean. Sell right now, and I'm gonna smack the shit out you, boy. And I'm like, what? I said, all right, come on, let's go. You know what I mean? So so when I said that, he boom took off, and we were actually right in front of my cell at the time, you know. And the doors were those sliding doors. They were like ding, they slide open and close, but when they open it for a rec time, like we don't close them, you know. We don't close them. We just let them crack, and then you know. But so he opened the thing and went in my cell, right, 2-man cell, and everyone knows the 2-man cells are like more dangerous to fight in because like everything is, you know, real close together and shit like that, you know, the metal bunks and the metal desk. So he goes in and I follow him in, and then when I follow him in, he says close the door. So when he told me to close the door, I actually gave him my back. I turned around and I closed the door, right? And then when I closed the door, I turned back around, and when I turned around, he was kind of like rushing at me, but he had his hands down at like his chest or his waist area and his chin out, right? Bang! Like that. And when I caught him, like it was like perfect shot, like bow, like that. And when I caught him, he was like boom, and he was out cold on his feet, like slept. His eyes rolled back in his head. He was like boom. He got stiff as a board, you know what I'm saying? His eyes rolled in his head and he went timber, boom, like that. And his head smacked off the desk. Actually, his head hit the desk, man. There's a desk in everybody's room, you know, with a chair that slides in and out. You know, it's connected to the thing on a hinge, you know. But it's flat. There's a flat part like this because there's little shelves in there you can put your stuff, right? And so when I cracked him, bang, he fell, and he just fell right at the right spot to where his head like boom. You know what I mean? His head was like boom on the metal desk on the flat part, and he was just laying there like he had his head propped up, you know, just perfectly, and he was stiff like that, bang. And like I was like, oh shit, like I didn't know what that. I thought because when his head hit that thing, it was like boom, and you could hear like the ding. You know how when metal hits something? So like I thought like he was gonna get like fucked up for real, you know? Like I thought he was gonna get real messed up from that. You know what I'm saying? And I turn around and hauled ass out the cell, you know? And then when I open up the door, everyone's looking like, you know, giving me that look like, oh shit. Everyone kind of knew what happened. They didn't see us go in, but when they heard that, they looked like, what the fuck was that? And then I came out, you know, when I had my shirt off and shit, and like they were just looking at me, and then I walked away quick. And then when I got like over towards the showers across the day room, and when I turned around and looked back, I seen him, you know, crawling up there. There's like a tray slot in everyone's door, you know, and he was crawling on that, hooking himself up, and everyone was kind of crowded around him, kind of drawing a little bit. And yeah, yo, so he called me out, and then when we went in the cell, I cracked him one time with a swift left hook, put him out. You know what I'm saying? He hit his head, so they took him back. With the guys that were crowded around him, they helped him get over to his cell, back to his room, and put some ice on his head, right? So then later on that night, his cellie, because the dude actually was a pod worker. You know what I mean? He was a pod worker, which means like every time everyone goes back in their cell, they open the pod workers' doors to, you know, sweep up and clean, and then that's when you can actually have them run favors for you, you know, like, yo, go take this over to my man's, pick this up. All right, thanks, bull. You know what I mean? And so he was actually a pod worker. You know what I'm saying? Working party is what they called it. So he was working party, and he ended up going to medical because from hitting his head, he ended up getting a bubble, like a bubble the size of a pool ball or a baseball, they said, on his head. And they took him to medical and shit like that, right? So I started getting worried, and my cellie was like, damn, man, you know, you might catch a charge, young buck. His cellie goes back and comes back to us later on after he goes to medical and comes back. And once he comes back, his cellie came and told us because they opened the door for him to clean and stuff like that because he was hurt and he wasn't feeling good, so they had a cellie cleaner. So his cellie came and was like, yo, when he was down in medical, they had to explain to him why he was in jail, because from you hit him so hard, the fool called amnesia. So they said it was going around the pod that I cracked the bull so hard that he caught amnesia. Yo, that shit was funny. So he actually accused me of cheating, you know what I mean? And I wasn't even, and you know, I have no reason to lie. I didn't try to cheat. That's the thing that I thought he wasn't serious at first, because I honestly didn't try to change the bottom card, you know, and I didn't try to do what he was accusing me of. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's but nothing ever came of it, you know what I mean? Nothing ended up ever coming of it and shit. He didn't rat, you know, so shout out to Knox, you know what I mean? He was in there for a kidnapping and shit, and I ended up hearing that he ended up getting a lot of time for that, you know? And then one more time, another time that actually I got into a fight over spades with a Spanish dude, alright? So we were all playing spades, you know what I mean? And then it was four of us, me and my right hand man, you know, from a childhood friend. I'm gonna actually bring him on the show, and I'm gonna do an interview with him, and he's gonna tell y'all my story from his point of view, and then also tell his story, because he also did time and shit like that. But yeah, my right hand man, shout out to Mello, yo, ooh, boom. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother Mello. He was my partner at the time. You know, it was me and him versus two other Spanish dudes. You know what I'm saying? And we all were playing, and it was kind of another case where one person liking to give bags, like overbooks and shit, like the first fight. So what happened was I kept dude that we were playing against. We weren't gambling on this one, I think, either. But dude we were playing against, he kept like underbidding. You know what I mean? Him and his partner kept underbidding and going like 4, 5 and shit like that. And the one time what happened was he went 6, right? And I'm like, all right, yo, you done? You overset? You overset, dog. You done? Book him, Dano. That's game. I'm talking shit to him the whole time while we playing, and I'm giving everything away, and my partner is too. And he went 6, and we actually overset him. You know what I mean? We gave him 12 books, which is actually like almost impossible to do, because there's only 13 books in all. You know what I'm saying? And he went 6, so we gave him 12, which means we only took 1. Me and my partner only took 1 book, and we gave them 12, and we won. That was game. And he got pissed, cause like we overset him, right? So he looks at me and he's like, "Yo, you're doing that bitch bagging shit. Y'all some bitches doing that bitch bagging shit. You know what I mean? That bitch bag." He kept saying bitch bag. I'm like, fuck me. I'm like, first of all, one of the first things that you do not say to somebody while you're locked up is the B word. Number one, don't. To any of y'all who or might be going to prison or ever go to jail or placement, juvenile placement, anything like that, don't call no one the B word unless you try to fight. You know what I'm saying? I learned that real quick, which I'll tell a story about that again another time. So he said bitch bagging, y'all some bitches and bagging, blah blah blah. I'm like, bitch bag. I'm like, you know what? If I'm bitch bagging, then take me inside the cell and prove me bitch. Nigga, yeah, take me inside the cell and prove me bitch, alright? So he's like, what, you want to go inside the cell then? I'm like, alright, let's go. I already have my shoes on, because I always stay strapped. You know what I'm saying? I always stay strapped. Anybody that knows me knows I stay with my shoes on, because you never know, something could pop off. You know what I mean? And a motherfucker, you have slides on, you be slipping and sliding, or a motherfucker stomp on your toe and split this toenail straight down the center. Yeah, how about that? Stomp on your foot so hard, I split every single one of your toenails straight down the center. And then after you lean over to grab your foot, I'm gonna catch you with 2 or 3 uppercuts. Bing, bing, bing. And then a knee. Bow. You know what I mean? So I always wear shoes. So I went straight to my cell. And at the time I was in a three-man room. It was the corner, so it was actually a little bit bigger. So we moved everything around and cleared the cell out. You know what I mean? So we could have some room. And so I'm standing in there waiting. And my right-hand man, my brother, Mello, he's standing outside of my cell, you know, watching out for the police and shit like that. So I'm like, yo, bro, once he comes in here, close the door, you know what I mean? So I'm standing in there, amped up, and I'm waiting, right? I'm waiting, because as soon as he came in, my bro reached in behind him and closed the door. You know what I'm saying? And then when he came in, we both do our setup, you know what I mean? So he came in, my bro closed the door, we both do our setup like this, you know, and then he threw it like a jab at me or something like that. I dipped it a little bit to the left. It didn't really, his arms weren't that long, so he threw it like a jab. It was like a little weak little jab, so I kind of like just dipped, and then he threw another one, and I dipped again, and when I came up, I just came at him with a 1-2, bam, bam, and I caught him with the right, and when I caught him with the right, I literally actually split him open. You know what I'm saying? And when I split him open, his shit started gushing like, and so he went, first instinct would put his head down and went like this, boom, grabbed me, you know what I mean? And then when he grabbed me, I put my head down into his chest and just rushed him. You know what I mean? I rushed him and slammed him up against the wall, and I just started catching him with body shots. Bam, 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 in the same exact spot every time, 5 or 6 of them. And after I caught him with like the 6th one, he was like, oh, all right, dog, all right, I'm done. So I pushed my hand up into his throat, and I backed up. I said, you good? You good? Bam! Caught him with one more. I said, you good? He said, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? And his shit was leaking, dog, so I could tell it was split. You know what I mean? So I backed up, let him go, and he hauled ass out of my room and went down to his room. And then when I came out, my bro looked at me. He was like, damn, nigga, you got blood all over you. I'm just like, yeah, that ain't my blood. You know what I mean? After that, I went into his room, my brother's room, and I actually used his towel, his personal towel that he used, and I wiped all homeboy's blood off. Oh, I wiped all the homies' blood off me with my brother's towel and shit. And now, even to this day, when we bring that story up, he says that, nigga, you used my towel to clean all that. He called me out because I was the only white boy right there at the table. You know what I'm saying? And dude didn't even really know me like that. You know what I mean? He didn't even know that I get down. You know what I mean? He didn't even know that I actually, you know what I mean, I bump, you know what I mean, I go hard, I'll rumble, whatever, you know what I mean, everyone that know me know that I'm nice with these, you know what I mean, I know how to fight, you know, I've been like that my whole life, you know, I boxed as a kid and shit. I actually, 2002, 2003, I was the Pennsylvania State Golden Glove champion, you know what I mean, so I know how to rumble. You know what I mean? So when he called me out, I knew I was going to get him, you know what I mean? Cuz like to be real with you, dudes will try to call you out and be big rah or use their size or something and like intimidate you. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys, especially the white boys, they back down. You know what I mean? And there's a few of us that actually go hard, that actually ride. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to those that do. A big salute to those that do, you know what I mean? There's some other YouTube guys that are on here that I fuck with. You know what I mean? Shout out to Frog, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to 1090 and motherfucking Def. Shout out to Def, Lockdown 23-1. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas, I fuck with y'all. You know? So there's a few of us that actually will rock out. You know what I mean? And what's cool is those of us that do usually got the proof. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm going to bring some people on here. I got some interviews, some people that'll back my shit up. You know, just so y'all know that I'm not a liar and I'm not no fluke. You know what I mean? Everything I say is 100% accurate, true. You know what I mean? I keep my shit 360. You know what I mean? Y'all already know. Ooh, way. So yeah, dog. Those some 3 stories right there about when motherfuckers get into fights over spades. You know what I'm saying? Keep rocking with me. Keep fucking with me. Smash that like, subscribe, and notification bell.